how to do a shaded 4-patch using the strip method by Studio 180. And if you don't know what a shaded 4-patch looks like, it's sometimes called like a cat's cradle block, but it is this square here. So I have a square, 2 little triangles, and then a larger triangle to finish up the square. So what it does for me in this particular quilt kind of gives you that illusion of things being on point, but really they're straight. One of my very favorite blocks to make, and traditionally you would have to cut your triangle pieces here and then another triangle piece. And when you're doing that, you're working on the bias. So this way that I'm going to show you is one of my favorites. Makes things easy, and you trim it down to size so it fits in perfectly with your quilt. So let's get started. All right, my friends, for this particular technique, you're going to need your shaded 4-patch technique sheet. It's very nice. It gives you a ton of sizes and great instructions. You will need a wide strip of fabric, a narrow piece of fabric, and then a couple of rectangles. And this is what we're going to do. All right, friends, the first thing we're going to do is we are just going to take our narrow strip and our wider strip, and we are going to sew those together. And once we have done that, we're going to press those towards the wide strip. Based on our instructions, we're going to go ahead and subcut this across that line, and we are going to take 2 of those pieces and we are going to rotate them like so, so that our narrow pieces are opposite of each other, and we're going to stitch those. Then I'm going to make a little trim and press, so let me show you how to do that. To make my snip, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this in half. And I'm just going to clip it till I get to the seam. And the reason why I do that is because I'm going to press it. And when I press it, what happens is naturally the fabric wants to fold over. And I want to see the intersections right there because I'm going to draw some lines so I know exactly where to sew so I don't lose my points. I'm going to go press this, and then I'll be back to show you how to draw those lines. Now I'm going to draw my stitch lines. Okay, so I'm using the new First Choice ruler by Studio 180. You guys, I got to show you something. I love this ruler. And the reason why is because I have 60-degree angles, 45-degree angles, and 30-degree angles. And they're going across the ruler, and they're going both ways so that you have all of the angles that you need in the places you need them. So this is a great tool. Lines are minimal, and it's just really nice. So what I'm going to do is I know I need to draw a 45-degree angle, so I'm going to line up my 45-degree angle either here or here. I'm going to run it along the bottom or the side, whichever is easiest for me, and I'm going to draw my stitch line. When I draw my stitch line, sorry, there's a glare, so I use all these little gadgets. So I have my 45-degree angle along the bottom of my fabric, and I'm going to line it up so that I'm drawing my line right through the intersection where my seams meet. Okay, yeah, see how bad that glare is. Okay. Ooh. So I want it going right through my intersection. Sorry, I only have one hand. I can't even hold my ruler. Okay, so I'm going to draw that intersection, and then I'm just going to shift it up, and I'm going to do the same on my other intersection. This time I'm going to go ahead and align it with the side and make sure that I have a great 45-degree angle and that I'm going through those intersections. So one of the things that I do want to look at is, let's just make my little adjustments here, is I want to make sure that I'm not going across my small squares. These are the squares, these are going to be my side triangles. So I want to make sure that I'm not going to be cutting through those squares. I'm going to go ahead and match it with my rectangle. And then I'm going to sew on these stitch lines, cut it apart, press it, and then I'll be back to show you how to trim it up. Now before I cut these apart, one of the things I like to do is I like to check to make sure I'm not going to lose my point. So that looks pretty good. I'm okay with it. So as long as my points look good, I'm going to go ahead and trim this apart. All right, I'm going to go ahead and trim this up now. I have cut those apart and I have pressed to my larger triangle. Now I'm trimming these to 4.5, so I'm looking for that 4.5 inch measured diagonal, and I'm going to align that with my seam line, and my common diagonal is going to go through that point. So that way I know that these are going to be equal when I cut that. And I like to start with my square up and trim that first because that's the part I want to protect. All right, let me go ahead and trim that up. All right, do some adjustments there. Okay, up one side, across the top, rotate 180 degrees. Then I'm going to place my entire unit in what I call the box, which is this 4.5 inch box. And when I do that, my common diagonal, look at that, my friends. My common diagonal intersects that point, and my 4.5 inch line is right where I need it to be. So I'm going to go ahead and trim that up. Okay, ta-da! There's my shaded 4 patch. Hope you enjoyed our tutorial. If you would like to see more of these, make sure you like, subscribe, follow, and share with your friends because we have new things coming up all the time. Until next time, happy quilting, my friends.